Okay, so what am I taking on the trip? All right, I'll start with the left front pannier. Pretty well have everything bagged up already. This particular pannier carries all the food um, that I'm going to use on the trip. Uh, we carry about 3-4 days worth of food with us throughout the course of the day. One of the things that that we know about when riding is this is a bear bag. So if you get into areas where you have to deal with bears, you can they can't tear into this bag like they would the pannier. But more importantly, rodents, raccoons, squirrels, mice, stuff like that. Uh, this bag it's got all my food in it that I'm going to carry with me, and of course we'll resupply along the way. But it's easier to hang this. This bag won't break when I hang it from a tree. On the trip last year, I was hanging the panniers, and I was always afraid that I'd break a mounting point. You know, if I was hanging it off the mounting points or off the handle would break, or something like that. There's nothing that's going to break on here, so it just made sense to get something that will do multiple things for me. So I can keep all my food in here. I can use it to hang, and then I don't have to worry about the rodents. Like I said, I carry like 3 or 4 days worth of food, uh, snacks, which is like granola bars, stuff like that. A lot of times when you're carrying food, you want to carry stuff that's flat. So tortillas carry nice and flat. Uh, Here's I got my coffee creamer, sugar packets. I'm not a true coffee drinker. I can't drink it black. And then I also have some flavor packets to add with water, some liquid IV. You know, if it gets real hot and you're kind of worried about getting really dehydrated, that really helps out as well. But all the drink stuff is in a bag. Uh, Again, food that packs flat, like tuna, tuna, and then they also make a peanut butter that packs flat as well. So you can put that in a bag. Um, and then when we eat ramen noodles, uh, we usually will do this when there's nothing close by, and it helps keep the cost down. So I have all that, and usually the amount of food that you see there again, they're more tuna and chicken, a tuna salad. All that will last for like 3 days. Uh, there's always places you can stop and resupply, and that's typically what you do. So you don't have to carry a ton of food. Carrying stuff in cans, uh, though the food is tastier, it doesn't pack well and takes up a lot of space. And when space is a premium, you just learn to eat something else. Other things that I carry, this jet boil, which is a stove. Okay, so inside the stove is the burner unit, but the fuel can stores in there as well. I found this along the road uh, last year, uh, and this is like $150 unit. So it's more space conscious compared to the setup that I had. So the stove that I used last year, I will leave home and use this stove here. Here is just typically, like ramen noodles, so they'll heat up just nice and fine in here. Uh, Water for coffee and oatmeal, again, will all heat up just fine in there. Uh, I did get I had a bowl, collapsible bowl there, seat by Sea to Summit. Uh, the collapsible bowl again makes it packs flat, and then a Sea to Summit cup for drinking coffee in the morning. So again, they pack flat, makes it real convenient. Though I haven't mastered getting the thing flat again, but I put it in the plastic bag, not so much to keep it clean, but just so it's not just floating all over inside the pannier. Dish soap. Uh, Last year, I didn't even, 82 days and didn't even empty this bottle, so that'll be sufficient. In here is a paracord, about 75 feet of paracord with a carabiner on it for throwing over a branch to hang the food. Um, and then I got a taller spoon with the jet boil, so digging out of the bottom of the jet boil. If I'm eating out of that and not out of the bowl, I got a spoon that will do that. So it's a metal spoon. I preferred the metal ones. Actually, it's titanium and costs way too much money, but the purpose that it serves, this is all you can find that's big enough and strong enough to dig down into the bottom. So that's what's in the left front pannier. All right, so it's the restaurant. The right front pannier. Okay, the right front pannier is the clothing. Um, I did do some changes on the clothing this year. I went with merino wool based t-shirts and socks. Uh, they you can wear them multiple days. You can rinse them off with just water out of a faucet or out of a bathroom, and they dry real quick, and they don't feel real grody. So I went with merino wool, where cotton or the dry fit stuff is not near as forgiving when it comes to being clean. One of the things you never know, you pull in someplace, porta potty, toilet paper. That's important to have. A toiletry kit. I worked with the local pharmacy and was able to get some of my prescriptions filled earlier. That way I had all my medicines, but again, toothbrush, toothpaste, shaving cream, uh, razor, shampoo, soap, stuff like that, all fits in there. Nice. Here I got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of clean clothes. The clean clothes, a lot of people do it with a lot less clothing. Uh, I just don't like the grody feeling, and I got the space though. Just because the space doesn't mean you have to fill it up, but I like to wear clean clothes every day, so it's just me. Other people might say you can get by with half that. That you know what, it's my trip and this is what I want, so that's what I've got. So 4 sets of clean clothes. um, this is just the dirty clothes. So as you can see, it's labeled, so you don't it just makes it easier identifying once you get into the bag. I did buy you can get these like travel laundry detergent packs, so that's what is also in there. It's easier to pick it up. It's cheaper than when you're at a laundromat or something like that. Just another tie down here. Because of the location we're riding, I got a puff jacket, uh, two pair of pants. They're lightweight. One of them is water repellent, and the other is not. But they're really soft and comfortable if it gets cooler, and which I'm expecting it's going to. I just want to have some warm clothing in there. I also have a buff and gloves in there as well. Um, One of the things you got to have is I got my washcloth and towel for showering, and then sometimes when you don't have, if we have to camp at a place where they may not have showers, but we have access to water. Uh, a good friend of mine lives down the street, Bob and Mary. They were Bob had seen these cold shower wipes uh, last year, and he just thought I needed to have them, and tried to get them to me while I was on the Trans Am. They didn't, but he's like, go ahead and take these, and of course we'll use them this year. But basically, if you got to do a bird bath, you would just kind of get your washcloth nice and wet and get all the grime off, and then you clean off with the shower wipe. And it doesn't have all the scents or anything like that, so it shouldn't feel real yucky when you get done wiping down with this. And then you take your washcloth again, get it nice and wet, and then rinse off with that. And I would say, we did that several times last year, and it's about 90% of what a real shower feels like. So for me, I like to shower at night before I go to bed. I sleep better, and if I feel a little grody, I just don't sleep well. It worked. So, yeah, that's just how we do that. John taught me that, and from his experience on the hiking the Appalachian Trail, again, John is a great friend and a great riding partner, and I can't wait to ride with him and Carl again. So that's what I got in the right front pannier. So kind of slide this stuff out of the way. The back left pannier, okay, it's got the tent. No changes on this. One of the things that I did get, just another lashing straps. In this miscellaneous bag, one of the things that we picked up that I didn't have last year was a headlamp. Headlamps are almost a must. It makes life so much easier. Because of where we're going, there is definitely a lot of mosquitoes and bugs that just get irritating. So I just got this little head net just to keep them out of my face. I'm bringing it, though I don't think we'll need it, as I got a 4-liter water bladder. And then not much on the medical stuff. John's training as a firefighter. He's bringing the med kit. Only thing I have is just a pressure bandage, just to, if I need an ice pack or something like that, you can hold that on without having to sit there and hold it. So that's what's in the miscellaneous kit. Just didn't know where else to put it, so that's where that stuff ends up. What's nice about the tent that I got is most tent poles are like 16, 18 inches. So it never fits in a pannier. This is the Big Agnes Copper Spur bike packing tent. So it has these smaller tent poles, which makes it very packable inside a pannier. So you got the tent poles. The tent that I got, again, the 3-man and 2-man tent packed the same size for the most part. Of course, the 3-man is going to be slightly bigger, and of course it will pack slightly bigger. But for what it does, I went with the 3-man, and as you can see, it's very small for a 3-man tent. Sleeping pad. Same sleeping pad I used last year. Ground sheet for the tent that just helps keep water, a vapor barrier, away from the bottom of the tent. If you get in a place where the ground is damp, eventually that will all seep up, so it just kind of slows that process down. And then tent stakes. Because I have no other place to put it, I got some spare cables and some parts for the tent that you didn't need on a normal day. If it gets real windy, it's extra guy strings to tie out the tent to keep it from getting tore up. And then a replacement chain. Chain breaks. I got stuff to fix the chain, but sometimes just having that spare chain is really nice to have, just in case. So that's what's in that pannier. the back right pannier, okay, is bedding, okay. One of the things that I picked up last year, I was carrying a sheet, but it took up so much space, and I had found this sleeping bag liner, which works just like a sheet, but except it's like a sleeping bag, but it's just like made out of a smaller material, uh, and definitely makes it more comfortable. It also adds a little bit of warmth to your sleeping bag if it gets cold. We're expecting it to still be kind of cool at night, and so that will be kind of a nice thing to have. But so on. The Thermarest, I'm sorry, the little Nemo inflatable pillow. Used this last year. I liked it, so didn't change nothing there. Something when it did get hot, creature comfort, and I got the space. I had to carry this fan, used it a couple times, and I said, oh, what the hell. If it gets hot, it was nice having the fan. And it runs all night on a charge, and it's USB rechargeable, so I have the ability to use that. Don't necessarily need it, but I got it, so that's okay. Same sleeping bag. It's the uh, the Nemo Disco. It's it's not the traditional style. It's a sleeping bag designed for people who like to sleep on their sides. So the shape of it's a lot different. Makes it more comfortable, so you don't feel like you're constricted. Uh, I'd rather have a bigger sleeping bag than a smaller one, and so real happy with. I used this last year. Real happy with it, and don't expect any changes there. And then two 10,000 milliamp hour batteries. Um, I have three batteries altogether. I got one 20,000 milliamp battery, and then these two 10s. If you need power, they're fully charged, ready to go if I need it, and I just keep them in there. Only use it when I need it. The Sea to Summit bag I got across the back of the rack. Okay, again, this is a bag that you get into rather frequently if you need it. I have some just extra compression sacks if I need them. I threw them in there. I'll probably throw those in one of the panniers just to make it easier to, because I won't need them. But it's just that when I'd found them, forgot that I had them, and I wanted to take them with me just in case. This here is maps of bicycle maps of the state of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Yeah, I think that's it. Uh, John had picked up some maps because I didn't know what the route was. I didn't buy any of the ACA maps or anything like that, but the maps, that's what I got there. This again will probably go in another bag other than up there. Because we were going to go into Canada, last year I carried bear spray with me. The thing is I couldn't get back to Illinois with the bear spray. They wouldn't allow the aerosol on the airplane, so I gave it to my buddy Darren and picked up one of these at REI. Won't be traveling by airplane, so I'll have this still if I don't need it. And again, this is the same exact stuff that we used at my job, and so I know what it's all about. Hope like the devil I never have to use it. Safety vest, of course, it won't be in my bag. I'll be wearing it, but just because I need it quickly I knew to put it in here, and I'd have it for when we take off. One of the things that I always kept in this bag once I got it was rain gear. So I got, you know, a rain jacket, water repellent pants. I do have rain socks, or sealskin socks, which are waterproof if it's going to be raining hard all day. I'll probably put those on instead of just the regular socks. And then I got some when it gets cold and you get wet, my hands get real cold, so I do have some waterproof gloves as well in there. But that's the rain setup, and that's, you know, that's, you need it because you see that it's going to, and I just prefer to keep it out of the other bags, because if it's wet it won't get everything else wet. The last thing that I have in here is I got a seat pad. Okay, it's just a small foam pad to sit on, but it also serves as a protection for the solar panel. I took this solar panel last year, and then when Rodney caught up with us, I had him bring it back, but I'm going to take it again. But it's a 21 watt solar panel, and it did a really good job of keeping things charged up when I needed to use it. It works really, really well. So I'm going to take that again, and I'll just keep that in there. I don't lash things down tight, but it's protected by the seat pad. So that's everything in that particular bag there. So, okay. The toolkit. Okay, we'll set this up a little differently here. Let's see here. How can we do this? Let's get these guys here. We'll move this real quick. That way you can see what I got here. Put it on the table. There we go. Okay, toolkit. Alright, here's that pressure gauge that I was telling you about. What's nice is it pressurizes, maintains the pressure. That way you can pull it up and see it. You know, older we get, the harder it is to see. The gauge on my pump, I can't read at all. It's just too small, and you have to bend down and to ground level to actually read it. This works really, really well. Carl had that. Do carry chain lube, some electrical tape, and then I have a park tool, multi-tool, but I don't keep it together because it takes up so much added space. There's a couple parts to it. The chain breaker part, and then it's got some wrenches, some Allen wrenches. Where's the other piece at? There it is. Yeah, some bigger Allen wrenches for doing some basic tightening of stuff. I do have a wolf tooth chain breaker tool, not chain breaker, but master link tool. Carries 2 master links, you know, for the 10-speed chain, which is on my bike, and then allows you to get the thing on and off. It also dubs as a tire lever. It's metal, so it won't break. The plastic ones tend to break sometimes, and so it's nice to have that. Just a medicine bottle full of assorted screws. One of the things that you want to do is occasionally check to make sure there's nothing loose. You don't want to over torque it, you just want to check to make sure it's tight and not really torque it. And if you find one's loose, you know, tighten it up. If one falls out, then hopefully I got one in there. A Gerber multi-tool, okay. They're not good for anything, but when you have nothing, they're great. And So it's got needle nose pliers, wire cutters. Don't really so much about wire, but it's just convenient to have. Actually used it several times on the trip last year. Carl had gave me a shifter cable, spare shifter cable in case it breaks, so I carry that with me. Some zip ties. Zip ties are great along with the electrical tape. If you have just an emergency repair or a temp repair to get you from point A to point B to where you can get it fixed. An adjustable wrench, small one. There's nothing torqued down so tight on the bike that you need something bigger than this. If you need something bigger than this, you probably need special tools, and now you're talking a full tool kit, and no one's going to carry that. So I got this is an Allen wrench for the pedals. And then remember I said I got two different size Allen wrenches for the through axles. These are the wrenches for the through axles. Those you will need in case you have a flat. This has got some tenacious tape in there, so it's for like fixing a puncture in my sleeping pad. That's what this is for. A spare mount for the fenders. Okay. I did have one of these break, and I taped it up with electrical tape, and it worked just fine. But I bought some different stays for my bike, and I just kept one of these in my spare kit for just in case. Never had to use this. This is and I don't know how well it works. It's supposed to be a replacement for a spoke. If you break a spoke, to kind of help piece things back together till you can get the spoke replaced. I hope that doesn't happen. I think I'd much rather just carry spokes, but that's what I got for right now. Imagine once it breaks and I need to have a real spoke, I'll probably switch over. A boot in case the tire actually gets a hole in the tire itself, not the inner tube, but the tire. This boot helps keep stuff out so it doesn't puncture the inner tube. And that's everything inside the tool kit. So yeah, that's that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, might as well do the flat kit. The flat kit. Okay. So I got a patch repair kit. I bought 2 patch repair kits and put more patches in here. That way you got more than enough there. A set of plastic tire levers. Again, I'd much rather have metal, but these were cheap, and we'll just see how they work. So that'll be fine. One of the things that I carry is not only do I have my hand pump, I do have a CO2 inflator. So there's got 1 bottle there. If I need more, I would use that as a last resort. I'll still pump up by hand with the pump. Here's of course the inflator valve, an air tag, and the air tag will ping off a phone, and it's set to my wife's phone so she knows where I'm at, so can't get lost. Interesting. Yeah. Inside the handlebar bag, okay, there's that 20,000 milliamp battery, my book for journaling, electric cables for all the electronics. I got a couple magic markers, a little notepad, a pencil or a pen to write with, and then I'll keep my billfold, and then with and stuff like that in here. So that's what I'll carry in here. I also, the tripod that I use for my camera, I also keep that in there as well. So the top thing here, that's for putting the map in. I always like, sometimes I get turned around and lose track of north, so that's just me though. Compass is, or I'm sorry, yeah, compass isn't something that you need, but it's just something that I like to have, and it doesn't weigh nothing, so I'll put it there. So, yeah. So there you have it. That is what I'm carrying on my bike. Uh, Again, I leave in like 3 days for this bike trip. Uh, Hopefully everything goes well. Uh, but you know, that's just part of the adventure when it doesn't. So till then, that we'll see you on the next one.